Two new witnesses took the stand Monday on the 12th day of Donald Trump's hush money trial, shortly after the judge overseeing the case again cited the former president of violating the gag order he imposed last month. Ahead of trial testimony, Judge Juan Merchan found that Trump ran afoul of the order prohibiting him from attacking witnesses and others involved in the case. Trump was fined $1,000 and warned that he could face jail time if necessary for any further violations. When testimony resumed, a former Trump Organization executive and the first current employee described how many of the large sums that went to Michael Cohen, for the alleged purposes of hush money payments, came directly from Trump's bank account. Trump has been charged with 34 counts related to falsifying business records, which Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg said the former president engaged in to obscure hush money payments to adult film actor Stormy Daniels in the final days of the 2016 presidential campaign. Trump has pleaded not guilty to all charges. He has also denied having an affair with Daniels. Judge threatens Trump with jail time. Merchan started the fourth week of the trial by imposing a $1,000 fine on Trump, who was fined $9,000 last week for 9 previous gag order violations. It appears that the $1,000 fines are not serving as a deterrent, Merchan said while handing down the ruling. "The last thing I want to do is to put you in jail. You are the former president of the United States, and possibly the next president as well," Merchan said. "There are many reasons why incarceration is truly a last resort for you." The judge acknowledged the magnitude of jailing Trump and how disruptive to the proceedings it would be. "But at the end of the day, I have a job to do," he said. "So as much as I do not want to propose a jail sanction, I will, if necessary." Trump sat and listened, saying nothing, and showed little of the defiance that he evinces outside of the courtroom, where he quickly criticized Merchan's ruling. "Frankly, our Constitution is far more important than jail," Trump said, indicting that he had no intention of keeping quiet despite the judge's warnings. "I'll do that choice any day." Trump's lawyers have argued that critical statements made by Cohen, who's expected to testify in the case, mean that Trump should be able to respond. He should also be able to defend himself as a presidential candidate, Trump attorney Todd Blanche has said. How the checks got to Cohen. The two witnesses who took the stand on Monday explained the mechanics of reimbursing Cohen, Trump's former attorney and fixer, for the $130,000 that was paid to Daniels. The Trump Organization's former controller, Jeffrey McConney, said he interacted minimally with Cohen during his time at the company, but that Alan Weisselberg, the company's former chief financial officer, had asked him in early 2017 to send money to Cohen. In the months prior, Cohen had taken out a home equity line of credit to buy Daniels' story alleging she had a sexual encounter with Trump in 2006. Cohen was repaid during Trump's first year as president via 11 checks that were logged as part of a retainer agreement to Cohen for allegedly acting as Trump's attorney and labeled legal expenses in the Trump Organization's records, according to Monday's testimony. Asked what Cohen's position was in the Trump Organization, McConney at one point retorted, he said he was a lawyer. McConney testified that $130,000 would reimburse the Daniels payment and $50,000 would reimburse a technology services payment. Notes showed that Weisselberg wrote that the payment should be grossed up to cover New York City taxes. The charges against Trump apply to 3 types of records: invoices, checks and check stubs, and ledger entries for Trump's personal bank account and the Donald J. Trump Revocable Trust. On the stand, McConney authenticated the invoices that showed the payments to Cohen, and he described what was allegedly false about them, that they were filed as legal services. Deborah Tarasoff, an accounts payable supervisor who worked with McConney at the Trump Organization, took the stand after her former colleague and authenticated each check and check stub, as well as the general ledger entry. She then linked them to the corresponding invoice. The Trump Organization functions like a family business, said Tarasoff, a 24-year veteran of the firm and the first current Trump Organization employee to take the stand. For the first time in the trial, a check from the alleged scheme was shown in court, a $70,000 payment to Cohen for the months of January and February 2017. One payment was signed by Eric Trump, the other by Weisselberg. The payments were described as retainers, with a March payment, and were issued from the revocable trust. Later payments came from the former president's personal bank account. Weisselberg, McConney, Donald Trump, and the legal department were authorized to approve expenses. But sums greater than $10,000 needed approval from Donald Trump, Donald Trump Jr. or Eric Trump, Tarasov said. A reimbursement check would be stapled to an invoice and brought to Trump's longtime executive assistant, Rona Graff, for Trump's signature. Only Trump himself could sign off on a payment out of his personal account, and his signature was the final and ultimate approval, Tarasov said. If Trump did not want to sign a check, he didn't have to. Instead, he would simply write void across it in black Sharpie and send it back, Tarasov said. The final total of payments to Cohen reached $420,000 and included not only the alleged hush money reimbursements but also Cohen's annual bonus and additional funds to cover taxes on the amounts.